And we're live.
Welcome back, everyone. Episode 94 of Kids Deserve It. We hope you've been enjoying our weekly chats with educators and game changers from around the country. Also, don't forget, you can check us out on iTunes.
And while you're checking us out on iTunes, make sure you leave a review for us as we select a winner each week to win an autographed book set.
Also, don't forget to join our Kids Deserve It chat on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Pacific. This week, we got another great guest, but first we want to introduce ourselves. I am Adam Welcome, Director of Innovation in the Bay Area of California.
I'm Todd Nesloni, Elementary School Principal in Navasota, Texas. And our special guest this week is Jessica Gomez. Jessica, thanks for being with us this week.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I want to remind our viewers to participate in social media using the hashtag KidsDeserveIt, whether you are watching live or listening to the recording later, as we love to hear the things that stick out to you from the episodes.
So, Jessica, we got a few questions for you. So, for those who don't know about you, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so I am a TK through 6th grade principal in Southern California, in Colton, California, which is the neighboring district to San Bernardino. Let's see, I've been an administrator for about 10 years now, and I've been at my current school for 6 years. I am, let's see, before that, I taught upper grade, elementary, 4th, 5th, and 6th grades. Oversaw categorical programs at the school site, was an assistant principal, and now I am principal for about 10 years now. I am, let's see, I have 2 kids. I have a 9-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son, and am married to actually a superintendent. So we're busy at the house.
I can imagine. So when did you know that you kind of wanted to take that leap into an administrative role?
Well, I actually never really saw myself as an administrator. I loved being in the classroom, and I think if I had the opportunity to be back in the classroom, I would still love to be in the classroom. But it came, I think, when I was working with an amazing principal, Molly Gainey Stanley, who encouraged me, but also my husband actually encouraged me to just, just do it. You never know, the opportunity might be there. And lo and behold, the opportunity was there to become an assistant principal under my one of my mentors, and then it just, the opportunity just, they kept falling in my lap. And one day, my superintendent said, "Hey, we want to make you the principal." Oh, okay. And then I've loved it ever since. It's really been a passion of mine to be able to build a strong, positive school culture. So the position that we're in, we have a lot of opportunities to do that.
That's great.
No doubt. So there's a lot going on in education right now, Jessica, but what do you feel is the most important and urgent issue right now that we're dealing with in education?
Actually, I was thinking about that, and I'm currently reading a book called Fostering Resilient Learners, and it's about trauma and the effects that trauma has on kids, and what we can do as schools to meet the needs of those kids, all of our kids. And it doesn't matter whether you come from poverty or if you come from a rich household, what the race is. I've really seen it as a big issue in the social emotional learning of our students, that we just are not meeting the needs of our kids out where they are and the experiences that they've had.
I completely agree with you. And what we've seen this year with our kids on our campus is a lot more anger and acting out this year, especially with what's going on around the world and in our own country itself.
Yes.
And this is the first time where I've really been able to notice that the things going on in our country affecting our kids' behavior, even on the elementary school level at our campus. I don't know if you've kind of seen the same thing, but a lot of our kids are on edge and are jumping on each other about everything because that's the way they see it played out on the news and online with the adults that are in our country.
Absolutely. And I know that we're not alone, because even when I talk to principals within my own district, we're like, wow, this has been a year. Like, what is going on? And what are we not doing right? Or what are we missing? And I really feel like that's an area where I need to grow. So I'm starting to really start to research this and try to turn my school to the point where we can really meet the needs of our students.
Right. So what do you love most about being an elementary school principal?
Oh, what do I love most? I love the opportunity that every day is a new day. You go in thinking, okay, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z accomplished. And yeah, that never happens. It's just an opportunity, I think, for me to be able to impact lives in so many positive ways. everyone from our students to our teachers to our staff to our families. We have that power as a principal to turn the school around and make it a great place for kids and a great place for adults to work at. I always think about, what kind of place do I want to work at? And I lead by that, and that mantra is, where would I want to spend 8, 9, 10 hours of my day? What would I want my leader to be like? What would I want my school culture to be like? And that's how I try to lead.
100%. So Jess, what was school like growing up for you?
Interestingly enough, I moved around a lot. I was one of those kids who probably every 2 years or so had to go to a new school for various reasons. And actually, my parents are immigrants, so they did not really know the language. They didn't know the quote unquote language or system of the United States. And so we kind of had to fend for ourselves. I usually had to be my mom's interpreter. And so I had to advocate for myself because my mom just didn't really have the knowledge of how school system worked here in the United States. But also, it was kind of hard going from school to school, having to get adjusted and learning a new community and having to adjust. And but my parents were always supportive, and if I needed something, they were there. But school was a little different than what my own kids experience right now. But I think it grew me into being a pretty resilient learner myself in terms of with families that I currently work with, which is pretty awesome, which is why I love to work in the community that I work in now.
Yeah, and it gives you some great perspectives too from some of the environments that our kids are coming from, that some of us who may not be bilingual or may not have been raised that we don't understand completely. And so I love that also gives you that kind of perspective. So, you talked about the Raising Resilient Learners. What is something else that you might be reading right now that you've read recently that you think would be a good recommendation for others?
Well, definitely Lead Like a Pirate. I know so many of us are reading that, but it really does impact how we lead every day. And of course, we are doing the Kids Deserve It book chat. We've been doing Kids Deserve It, and it's actually been pretty life-changing at our school. Every Wednesday is our Kids Deserve It shirts, wear our Kids Deserve It shirts, and it really has begun to impact our culture in a really positive way, and taking risk and stepping out of our comfort zones. And that book, and I'm not just saying it just because I'm talking to you guys, but it really has transformed how we see school and how we talk to kids and what we bring to the school site and what we can do as educators in impacting our students and our families.
Love that.
Nice. Love it. So Jess, who is someone that inspires or challenges you to be better?
So there's a couple people. First and foremost, I'm going to give props to my husband because he is always encouraging me to say, just keep going, try this, try that. And obviously we can connect at a different level because he understands my role. But also my kids and my PLN. I am part of Moms as Principals, and we are always pushing each other to do better, to not give up, to hang in there, to try new things. And it's just been amazing. Being connected in that way has really changed how I do things.
Awesome. So when you're having some of those days like we all have, where it's tough to go to work, we don't want to get out of bed, we're just upset about life, what do you kind of do to kick your butt into gear?
I think about all the kids at school who come up to me and run and hug me and say, Mrs. Gomez, oh, I love you. Oh, this is so fun. Or I'm taking out the music. And I think about those notes that they write me. And they tell me that school's so fun and that they love being here and that they love that everyone smiles at them and they love to hug me. And I just feel like, gosh, I don't want to miss out on that. I want to be there because they love to be there. And that has been my goal, is that they look forward to school and that they want to be there and that they're happy there and that people smile at them and they hug them. And so I don't want to miss out on it. So when I'm having hard days and I don't want to go to work, that's what I think of.
You talking about smiling is just making me smile. So, I mean, it's I love it. All right,
It
totally is. Every week, we like our guests to leave a challenge for our viewers. What is your challenge for the week?
So interestingly enough, Todd, when you were talking about, behaviors just kind of rising up this year, this time of year, is even a little bit more exaggerated in terms of the behavior is just escalating a little bit more. So most of us are probably going to be going off for Thanksgiving break in a week or so. And so I wanted to challenge our viewers to make that positive connection with a student or a family and write them a little note. Make a phone call home, because this week I want everyone to make it the best week ever. We're going off. We have a lot to be thankful for. We have a lot to be grateful for. And I want us to let our colleagues know, our students know, and our families know how thankful we are and how grateful we are to be connected with them.
I love that. That's perfect timing too with what's coming
Yes.
up. So Jessica, thank you so much for giving us some of your time this morning. I know you're headed off somewhere as soon as we're done, so we appreciate you making time for us.
Well, thank you so much. It's been awesome. I really appreciate it. I'm really humbled that you reached out to me.
Of course.
Well, and we want to thank our viewers too for listening and watching our Kids Deserve It show. Remember, you can tweet us using the hashtag Kids Deserve It. We encourage you to go on to iTunes and leave us a review so you can potentially win an autographed book set. And remember to include your Twitter handle so we can contact you later. Make sure you join our chats every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central, and we will see you all for next week's chat.